1,000. This is what I do. I play characters. I don't play Moshidi. South Africa, you have just entered Miss Moshidi's class.
I was extremely nervous going into this interview with you because one, you'll never remember, but I've auditioned for you.
Really?
Yes.
Where?
I will not say because I went home that day kicking myself because you gave me a lecture that day as well. Right? One.
So you think you're funny?
I'm not going to tell you when it was.
Because I did give people lectures.
It's just really embarrassing for me. I was so young. I was so new in Joburg.
Did the lecture help?
It really did help. And this conversation
did I say? You just need to tell me what I said so I remember. Because I'm that old.
Oh, you told me to...
What did I tell you?
You told me not to be afraid of who I am.
Girl, that's a good advice.
Yeah.
I've never felt South Africans don't love me.
Yes.
I feel so loved.
Yes.
You know, I can leave my house feeling funny and I'll meet someone and they'll wave at me. They'll feel so happy to see me. And I think there are people today that nobody will smile like that when they see them or just say, I love you.
Yeah.
People tell me they love me. Like, who walks around and gets I love you?
Randomly.
From random strangers.
Yeah. My earliest memory was Rhythm City. 1,000.
Yo. And I were talking about how 1,000 came around.
You know, and these are the things this is the stuff of legends.
I had never done soapies until that point, really been in a soapie. And then I was coming out of a period where I'd been doing work in the business, but I hadn't been on something that was on all the time. So when that role came, I'd never played anything like that. And I remember really struggling at the beginning with that character, not understanding. Remember, you know, my background in fiction always says, what is the story? Yes. I want to know what is the story, the beginning, the middle, the end.
Yes.
Because then I have a trajectory. And in soapy, sometimes the trajectory is not, there's no trajectory sometimes. Sorry to say, sorry writers.
True.
And then you kind of have to play moments. And I remember Jamie Bartlett saying to me, we're having this conversation.
We love him.
We love him.
Love him so much.
And I said, Jamie, I'm really struggling. And he said, Moshi, just play the moment. And there's a woman in your street who's exactly like this woman. Go and find that woman. It was the best advice that had been given to me about playing that role.
My goodness.
Because I've always said to people, whenever I create roles, I always think of the street where I grew up in Alex. And I have this exercise that I do in my head, and I go to that street in my imagination. I open the doors on that street.
Yeah.
I meet the woman that I grew up with, and I take aspects of these people that I grew up with, and then I make my characters. Because that's the world I know.
Yes.
That's where I come from.
Yes.
And somewhere in my imagination, in the landscape of all the characters I play, is the street where I grew up. I applied to the then Johannesburg Art Ballet Drama and Music School, which is now the National School of the Arts, when it opened for black people. And when I went, it was me and another girl, Garabo, who then left, and I remained as the only black girl in the time that I was studying there. There was another black guy, and then there was a colored guy and an Indian guy. Like, there were just four people representing the others, right?
Yes, yeah.
And one of the hardest things for me as the only black girl in that space was to believe in myself. I was a black kid coming from Alex who had a dream about the school on top of the hill where I could learn to be an actress.
Yes.
And then one day, God knows what, I found these forms in our post box and I applied to the school. I knew my parents didn't have money for me to go to the school, but I applied, I go to the audition, when I'm at the audition, they say to me, would you repeat a year? And I said, I have no reason to repeat the year I've been in because I've just done very well in it. And they said to me, you'll have to work very hard. And I said, that I can do. And then by the grace of God, I got a bursary to get into the school. I had a friend here, Angela de Villiers, and she was a very good friend. She was a very good actress. And then we went to Wits. And when I was at Wits, I had a student loan, but I couldn't stay in the university.
Okay.
And I was doing student productions.
and I needed a place to stay. And my friend, Angela de Villiers, I'll never forget, went to, she was in one of the not apartments, boarding houses at Wits, and went to ask the matron if they had a room where I could use it.
Wow.
And they found a room. There was a room underneath these steps at Sunnyside, and they took out, it was a storage room. They took out everything, they put a little bed.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I'll never forget it. And because I couldn't go to breakfast, Angela would come in the morning, she'd go to breakfast with her card, get breakfast, put it in this little paper, and bring it for me, because she knew that I was there and I was obviously not going to get food. So when I talk about the kindness and generosity of strangers and angels, that angels have always pitched up
for us.
You know what I mean? Even in the smallest ways. Just that sandwich, her finding that room, meant that I could actually be on campus. And do those student productions, which led me to go on and do theatre work, which led me to still do the work that I do today.
Personal is sacred. The private is sacred. This is what I do. I play characters. I don't play Moshidi. I play characters. So the world knows the characters. And I need to retain an aspect of myself for my own sanity. And it's part of what I think has sustained me. Listen, I have learned that there are times when you will have to sit in the dark places until the light comes on. I've learned that there are times when you will not have the answers for why your life is the way it is in opposition to the way you think it should be.
Yes.
I've also learned the grace of waiting. When I had my child, I think I experienced what I call the God shift. I never experienced love like that. I finally understood why I love the way I love. Because I experienced unconditional love. I felt it from my little baby toe to the top of my head.
Really?
That the love was so huge. I could have floated and taken the world up with me.
Really?
That is how I felt. Bringing life to earth was, oh my God. I don't even think there's words for that. That's why I think when we struggle with our mothers, it's so deep, it's so emotional, it's so, it can wreak havoc in our lives.
Ruin you.
Yes, ruin you. And now having my own child, and you know, the way she loves me and the way I love her, I'm like, I lied to men. I didn't love you guys.
Really?
No, I didn't love you. I thought I loved you. Because if this is love, like what you will do for your child, the animal I became, the animal I discovered once I had her.
Woo!
The fierceness, the like unapologetic, I will come for you and I will mass murder you if you even put a finger on this life that I have been entrusted with. Because now it's not about you, it's about God has entrusted me with this angel. And in this lifetime I will stand in the blaze to protect her. I've never been the same person. I've never been the same person. And remember, I'm having my child, I had my child at 40. So I'm coming into my 40s, to my midlife as a mom, experiencing for the first time in my life what other women experience in their 20s. You know, what your friends have already forgotten. So I remember Rami Chwenu phoned me just after I gave birth. She just phoned me actually wanting somebody's phone number. And I said, I've just given birth. And she said to me, oh, you're just about to come into your power. And I didn't know what she meant.
Hectic.
Hey, I think our children give birth to us. We don't give birth to our children. I'm not gonna have another child.
Really?
No, I'm old. My body's not gonna take that.
Would you want to have another?
I had a moment of thinking I want another child, and then I realized this is a lot of work to nurture someone, to grow them, to be available for them, to be present with them.